All right. So people are slowly coming into the room here. We'll maybe wait a few minutes before we jump into our presentation, but I see folks are starting to come in. So thank you all for joining our first Dean of Students Office Hoosier Family Huddle webinar. My name is Kyle Seibert. I'm a graduate assistant in the Office of Student Life and in the Dean of Students Office. The goal of this webinar series is to provide more information and resources to parents and families and students to help students succeed. So we're going to start off today with our friends from RecSports, and they're going to give us a great presentation on all the good work that they're doing over there. Like I said, we'll wait maybe just a minute or two before we kick off, as I see more people kind of trickle in. But thank you to those who are joining us today. And if you have any questions throughout, how about this, Katie? If any questions come up, I'll monitor the chat and I'll kind of pop in if anything comes up. How about that?
That's perfect.
Okay, sounds good.
Well, I'll go ahead and pull this up real quick, and we'll be ready to go when y'all are.
Sounds good. And actually, Katie, I just remembered we're recording too, so we'll make sure we post this on the website, and I'll maybe remind folks who come in later that this is posted. So feel free to start us off whenever you're ready, and we'll go from there. So take the lead.
Great. Well, thank you, Kyle, and thanks everybody for joining us today. There are three of us on the call here for recreational sports. My name is Katie Landrum. I'm the Assistant Director for Group Fitness Programming and Wellness Initiatives with Recreational Sports. And I have Jaden and Jess joining me today to help share their student experiences. And they work with a couple of our different programs that we'll learn a little bit more about as we go through our presentation. But first off, I wanted to talk a little bit about how we interact with campus and how we're part of the overall health and well-being initiatives and programming and planning on campus. We're part of the Office of Student Life. So take a quick glimpse at this organizational chart, but really what I want you to focus on is this health and well-being pillar. We're split into three pillars to best serve our students and kind of create different opportunities for our students on campus. What our health and well-being pillar does is we have a variety of services and programs and professionals that work together to offer those health and well-being opportunities and create this network of colleagues that kind of create an integrated system. So we like to be able to collaborate. We like to send each other students and send our students to the resources that they need. But we're all connected and we're all part of the same team to help be able to direct students and give them a web of services. When we talk about health and well-being, it's not just one size fits all opportunity. Each student, each person, all of our staff, we all have different needs and different expectations, but there are different things that we can provide that help students find their path. And so at Recreational Sports, we like to be, we kind of think of ourselves as like an entry point to health and well-being. So there are a variety of different services that there are available on campus, like our medical clinic where they can get checked out, get their vaccinations, they can get, they can visit with a physician and get checked out if they're sick on campus or they need something. There's a fully functioning pharmacy at the med clinic as well, along with some support systems for whether it's mental health or recovering from use of drugs and other substances, or if they just need counseling or support from some other situation. So really we have a variety of things. And then there's recreational sports and outdoor adventures where we help to kind of give them different opportunities for physical activity, connecting with students and peers outside of the classroom and outside of their dorms, getting to do fun things. And then there's health promotion, which is now called student wellness. And it includes nutrition services, health coaching, and a variety of other things to help students get connected and get information about the resources we need. So that's just a brief overview of the health and well-being pillar of the Office of Student Life. And we like to dive a little bit deeper with recreational sports as we go on. So a lot of our students have already paid the student activity fee. So it's about $85 per semester, and they get a variety to lots of different opportunities. We do have two facilities on campus, the Student Recreational Sports Center, as well as the Bill Garrett Fieldhouse, which is connected to the School of Public Health directly across the street from the Memorial Union. What that student activity fee gets our students access to is over 80 group exercise sessions a week. There's no registration, there's no sign up ahead of time, there's no extra cost. All they need to do is check our schedule and find the sessions online in the location, and they can show up with their IDs and a water bottle. We've got the rest covered. There's multiple spaces for fitness floors and fitness activities to get some strength and cardio work in, some strength in, some powerlifting, things like that. We have a few different pools throughout our facilities, as well as a variety of different courts for people to drop in and play a variety of sports. We have the courts, but we also have a variety of the equipment that they'll need to play those sports as well. So if they show up and bring their ID, they should be set to go. There's a variety of walking and jogging tracks in our spaces and around our spaces, along with some outdoor spaces where you can play tennis, soccer, ultimate frisbee, and a variety of things. We have an additional outdoor walking track as well when the weather cooperates. We also have pickleball. Our tennis courts double as pickleball as well as tennis. And we have short-term lockers if there's stuff that they would like to keep over here in the meantime. You may have seen, or if you came up to orientation on campus, we had a smaller tour because we were in the middle of renovations of the Student Recreational Sports Center. We're really excited to show off these new spaces. Our strength gym that you can see on the far right of our screen with those gray, red, and black circles. That's one of our newest spaces that we've completely revamped. Some of this has been done because we want to be able to feel a part of the Indiana University community and feel integrated into the campus. So updating our color scheme in the building, adding more IU branding and things like that, but also taking feedback from students to let us know what they want to see in our spaces. Based on our participation, we've seen a huge increase in demand for functional strength training as well as strength training space. On the right, you'll see this, there are a couple banks of platform spaces. Prior to the summer, we had about 6 platforms in the strength gym. We've increased that to about 32 bays. What that means is that we've gone from 6 places where you can squat and deadlift, and maybe about 6 places where you can bench, to 32 spots where you can squat or bench, and then about 16 spaces where you can deadlift. You'll notice that there are little platforms inlaid into the floor. We have a whole row of about 16 of those all together with an additional 8 on the other side where you can still squat and bench. Those spaces in the evenings were packed. They were really exciting to see, and participants were happy to be there, but it could be a little busy. There could be a big wait. So we wanted to make sure that we were listening to our students and providing that feedback. You'll also notice that these are a couple pictures of our court spaces. The second one next to the strength gym is MS1. We share that with our badminton courts, and it's also one of our group exercise spaces. You'll notice all the mirrors on the wall. It makes for a really great space to have fun dance fitness sessions or some intense strength training sessions. On the far left of your screen where you see that green turf, this is actually a newer space in our facility. We've seen an increase for open space and an increase in demand for space to do more functional workouts, like maybe sprint work or ball slams or things like that with the TRX or with other functional training equipment. We have a whole racquetball court dedicated to that now with this addition of the turf space. In addition, we have a few other facilities and a few other things to note. In that bottom left corner where you see the friend hanging from the wall having quite a bit of fun, that's part of our IU Outdoor Adventures program. Just down the street from us at Eigenman, we have an Outdoor Adventures bouldering wall where students can have a membership and boulder there and do free climbing day. I think they have free climbing Fridays as well. So there are opportunities to try this out with trained professionals. You can also go on different tours and different outings with them and even get academic credit. You'll notice the center picture in the bottom. That's the field house. So if you are familiar with Indiana University and maybe know that the field house was the historical location for the men's athletic basketball team or the varsity basketball team, that's where they used to play. They would pull out the basketball court and place it on the dirt floor. But recently, since they've gotten Assembly Hall, we've been able to take over the space. This has been our space for years now since the Assembly Hall was built, but we have 10 basketball courts available. Some of them can be set up as as volleyball. But when you think about pickup basketball, and if you have students that are really excited about basketball, I would say the field house is the place to be. You'll notice we have an Olympic-sized swimming pool. That's called the Councilman Billingsley Aquatic Center. We do share that with our athletics program, but we do have block time. So all of these spaces that you'll see, even if we share some of those spaces, there's dedicated recreational time that your students have access to throughout the day and throughout the week. The top right picture is our indoor tennis facility. That's the IU Recreational Sports Tennis Center. That is another facility that we have a separate fee for, but there is a student rate. They're always looking to get students out there, and they've got pickleball indoors. So when it starts to get colder and we can't necessarily use our outdoor courts, this will be a great place to go and check out. The top left photo is the recreational sports field complex. We've recently opened this for open turf, where participants can go out, our students can go out and play just whatever game they'd like to play, in addition to our intramural offerings. We have a variety of those that we'll get into in a little bit. But one other thing that's really near the recreational sports field complex, later this semester, we're going to be opening the 17th Street project. We're building an outdoor fitness court and some extra court space right there on the corner of 17th and Fee Lane, which is near a lot of the more north neighborhood of dorms available. So there were basketball courts earlier this summer there. We're revamping that, updating it to have a fitness court, some futsal court space, and some other variety of things outside that are just available for students who live in that north neighborhood. So we're really excited about that and are looking forward to opening that. Let's dive a little bit more into our program. So like I mentioned, you've heard me talk about things like group exercise and intramural sport. We're going to go deeper into those because, again, we have a lot of opportunities to get involved and find something that works for you. Like I mentioned, we have over 80 sessions offered weekly across our spaces, across our studios, and we have a variety of formats. We've got cycle, we've got dance fitness, we've got bar fitness, yoga, and more. So there's a variety of things to try. And you even see in this bottom left corner, there's a picture for water aerobics. That's one that people are always surprised that they have a great workout from, because it seems like it'd be a little easy, but the water challenges you a bit more than you'd think, even though it takes away the impact from gravity. So it's really fun. Our leaders are trained in-house, but some go on to further get their certification and get further experience. But we're really excited about 2/3 of our staff are students. So they're able to meet and connect one-on-one with your students as they come into the session. They're really excited to share what they love, and we love seeing participants jump in and have a great time and maybe do things that they didn't know that they could do before. Our schedule is easily accessible on the Recreational Sports app as well as our website. Like I mentioned earlier, all you need to do is bring your student ID and bring your water bottle, and we'll take care of the rest. Next up is aquatics. So we have 3 or 4 pools available on campus where we can do log rolling, we can do lap swim, leisure lounge. Even if you just wanted to run around in the shallow end and maybe play water basketball, all those things are available to you in addition to our group exercise sessions in the diving well. But if you're wanting to kind of dial in your swim technique or maybe learn how to swim just a little bit better, we have group swim lessons available as well as total technique swim training. So if you have an interest in swimming competitively, that can be a great way to kind of tailor your skills and kind of get some more confidence in the pool. We also offer opportunities to get trained through the American Red Cross. And those are an opportunity to maybe get hired by the aquatics team and kind of join the team and learn more ways to get involved at recreational sports. There's a lot of fun things happening. We even do an event called Jump Days, where we have a platform of dive towers where you can work up all the way to the tallest one, which I believe is 10 meters. I've done it twice. Twice is enough, but it's a fun thing to kind of get the nerves out before finals week. It's a really fun event. Next up is open recreation. So think about this like when you're going to the gym or when you're going in just to shoot around or do a workout in any of our strength spaces, that's open recreation. What we call it when you're just dropping in whatever works for your schedule and you're kind of doing your own thing. So we have a variety of things. It's not just our fitness floors, but it includes our badminton courts, racquetball courts, table tennis, as well as a variety of other things. There's pickup volleyball games and basketball games throughout, as well as our indoor tracks. Like I mentioned earlier, the student activity fee allows you to check out equipment as needed for these spaces and gives you the opportunity to maybe try some sports that you haven't before. One of them is volleyball. So think about volleyball, but put it in a racquetball court, and you can actually use the serves that go off the wall or whatever the walls count as in for this one. So it's a fun way to mix up your volleyball game. All right, we'll keep moving along here. Next up is personal training. This one does have an additional cost to it, but students get the best rate in town with this program. So we have a student rate for these packages, but what will happen is our assistant director and coordinator take an opportunity to meet with our clients and sign up for an initial consultation to learn about the client's goals and kind of figure out what they are hoping to gain from it, and then pair them with one of our nationally certified personal trainers. We have a small staff that are really excited to be here and do that. We also have semi-private studios where they can have some private space to work on those skills and build up strength and confidence in our spaces so that you can go in and go onto the floors and have a little bit more confidence going there. The really nice thing is that each program, each trainer works individually with the clients to find the schedule that matches what they need, as well as the skill development and the program that will help them reach their goals. It's a really fun opportunity, and there's a variety of programs available at that additional cost. Intramural sports. So this is another fun one. This is subsidized by the student activity fee. So while there is a smaller fee for teens or students to register, it is a little bit smaller because it is subsidized by the student activity fee. The other really great thing to note is that we've paired up with the Residence Hall Association to cover any teams that live in residence halls. So if students are living in a residence hall and make a team with their residence halls, they're able to get that fee waived or that fee covered for them. There's a whole process on the back end, but it's a really great way. We've gotten some feedback that that's been a removal of a barrier for students to come participate and play. You'll see that we have opportunities to play in all of our facilities, all of our spaces. There's a variety of timelines as well. So you can play in competitive where you're working towards a championship, or rec leagues, which means you're just guaranteed 4 weeks of play and you get to play and have fun and learn a new sport. In addition to having team, dual sports, and individual sports. Some events are even just 1-day events or even short term, like 2 weeks. And there's a variety of different divisions available. It's a really fun way to get involved and play sports. And it's fun to kind of meet people and find new friends and new ways to get active on campus. Even if cardio on the treadmill is not your friend, one of these might be your fit. And club sports. So this will feel a little bit similar to intramural sports, but this will feel more like a traditional sports team. So if you've come from a team sport background and maybe you were playing or want to learn how to play a specific sport, these are student-run organizations that have opportunities to kind of open to all skill levels and develop skills and develop a way to kind of coach and train and learn alongside other students. But we also have sports ranging from equestrian, lacrosse, there's sailing, there's judo, there's martial arts, there's ballroom dancing. There's so many different opportunities to get in and play. Some are competitive, some do have some costs, and you can find practice times and contact info on our website. It's a really great way to get in and learn, and I think we'll hear a little bit more about that from Jaden a little bit later. And lastly, one more thing to get connected. If there's a way to find an activity that you're looking for, if you're looking for a workout partner or somebody to go play badminton with, or pickleball or volleyball, we have our program called Rec Connect. These are group me messages where basically you can sign up to join these group me messages, and people will let you know, like, hey, I'm going to this session tonight. Does anybody want to join? And it's a great way to know when pickup games are happening or when different things are happening, and maybe you can find some new friends that way as well. You can see we have a variety of activity chats as well as community chats, one including a first-year student chat that may be helpful for those students just coming to campus. All right, do we have any questions so far, Kyle? We can pause here real quick before I I grill Jess and
Yeah,
Jaden.
so we do have one question, and I see some folks have joined us since we started. So if you have any questions, feel free to drop those in the chat now. And also, we will post this on our website later, so you can watch the full presentation. So the one question that we have is, when do you expect the outdoor space on 17th and Fee to be open? Will it have basketball courts? And yeah, so maybe give us a sense of what that space will look like.
Yeah, so the outdoor courts on 17th and V will include a fitness court space. It'll include some futsal, I believe some basketball, and we're looking later this semester. I don't have an exact date, but we're hoping relatively soon. I heard that paving's going down now, so we're hoping that it's soon this semester before it gets too cold.
Great. That's the only question that we've got so far. So like I said, folks, feel free to drop your questions in the chat and we will get those at the end.
Awesome. Well, we have some student perspectives to share to hopefully kind of give you a better glimpse into what being a participant at recreational sports feel like. So Jaden, Jess, do you each want to introduce yourselves a little bit and kind of tell us about you real quick?
My name is Jaden. I'm a senior here at IU. I'm studying kinesiology with a bio minor. I'm originally from Indiana, so IU has always been, where I wanted to come. And I'm super grateful that I came here. I got to meet a whole bunch of great people within my job and just participating within RecSports. So excited to talk more about that with everyone.
Yeah, I'm Jess. I'm a social work major with a minor in nonprofit management. I grew up in the wellness and health and fitness spaces and always had a love for movement. So my first place on campus was always going to be rec sports. Born a Hoosier, happy to be one. Happy to be here. So
Cool. Can you both share a little bit about how you started participating in recreational sports, how you got connected, and then how that helped you to build your community on campus?
Yeah, so first off, I came here as a freshman, moved in my dorm. I'm like, okay, I need to get a place to work. I got tired of asking my parents for money. So I was like, I need to get a job as soon as possible. So I saw an ad out on campus for a sports official. And my background, like in high school, I did sports. My family is just super big in our family. So I was like, I knew that's exactly what I wanted to do. So I came, interviewed, did the interview. And when I arrived, there was a girl who was working kind of in the position that I'm in currently, who she was super friendly, just everyone there, kind of the culture around the position was just so inviting. I knew I wanted to get in. And she had actually invited me to come to club basketball, which she was the president of. So a couple slides ago, we kind of talked through club. But yeah, so I joined. I took her up on that offer, and she actually offered me a ride to the call out meeting that was that night. So I went with her, went to the call out meeting. Ended up joining the team, and me and that girl have been friends ever since. And I met so many great people kind of through that club and then also through that job. So there's just a lot of correlation that kind of crosses between the position and being a participant or being involved in a club. All of that is just so intertwined. But yeah, so that's kind of my story, and I've been a part of the club team for the last 4 years. This year I'm actually the president. So I'm excited to get started and kind of see where that takes me. But yeah, a lot of great things come from, like I mentioned, both of those positions.
Oh,
so similar but different. I got to campus, eager to make friends. I am a senior, I don't know if I mentioned that, but I got to campus, eager to make friends, and my roommates, I had 3 roommates at the time, and fitness and wellness was really important to me, and they're like, oh, like, just go to rec sports, go to the gym. And I was like, okay, but I don't really know what I'm doing. I love group exercise. So they're like, okay, let's all go to a cardio kickboxing class. I walked in there not knowing what I was going to expect and left with just so many endorphins, so having so much fun. And I continued to go into some sessions, and really just appreciated the group exercise leaders and just the space that Rec Sports provided to me. And yeah, so a few years later, I got my cycle certification outside of Rec Sports. Because I did miss the deadlines for in-house trainings, but I did get my outside cycle certification and came back, and they welcomed me with open arms, and since have made a really great community and have gotten experiences in other formats. I did make those in-house trainings once I was in the loop of all the things, but was immediately welcomed with open arms in group exercise and at RecSports. And it really helped create a sense of community here at IU.
Awesome. So thinking about a little bit about that community, how has utilizing recreational sports programs, activities, and also working at recreational sports, how has that benefited your overall IU experience?
Yeah, so definitely for me, like kind of like I mentioned, sports is big for me. So I was like, I want to play as many intramural sports as I can, whether I've played the sport before or I haven't. So I just signed up for a team. My freshman year, some people from my job were like, "Hey, we're doing a flag football team. You should totally join." I joined, and much like kind of my other experiences, a lot of those people on that team I still talk to today. They kind of all have a variety of majors. So some of them were business, some of them were arts, some of them were marketing, that sort of thing. So just being able to connect with people who you might not necessarily meet in the classroom is great because we all kind of share that love for just getting active, going out there, trying something new. And yeah, so that really impacted kind of just how I developed and grew because from then I pretty much was just meeting people through class. So everyone kind of had that same academic interest, but seeing other people with different life paths, that's just been really kind of eye-opening. And as well, just them being older than me or younger than me, kind of seeing where that kind of their career has taken them. It's always great to kind of check in with people who, you know, I used to play intramural sports with or I used to work with, that sort of thing. So it's just great to check in.
Yeah, so when I came to RecSports, I was excited to be a part of a team with similar values of loving wellness and fitness, and all the things. So I created connections with them very easily. And again, they're also all in different majors and different times of life. Like 2/3 of us are staff, but then I call them our Group X moms. And they are the sweetest people to be. They do anything for you. And so would the students as well. But I created that family very quickly. And Katie knows exactly who I'm talking about, so she's giggling. But yeah, so what I never really fully expected was to get into my first class and to have those participants come back. And I eventually made just friends who are grad students, like 3 or 4 years older than me, like fully in their adulting stages of life, coming to me and be like, "We love your class, like so much fun." I made to be friends with these people, and now I text these people. They send me song recommendations that they want in class. I lived out of state for the summer and they came out and visited me. So I really did gain a community that I expected, but also didn't expect. And in two different ways, they just shaped my life to be just be able to understand like that there are communities here that I might not see myself in, but I can be in them as well. So it was really fun. Since then, I've gotten nicknames from these people that just happen to wander around RecSports. I've had and campus because I've been yelled at as Cycle Jess across the quad many times. But yeah, it's been a great experience getting to connect with not only my coworkers but the participants and people who don't even work at RecSports.
Awesome. What are some of the biggest questions or most frequent questions you get asked as part of your time working here, or even if you're just working out here and like one of your friends asks you a question? What are some of those big questions?
Yeah, at least for me, I work on the intramural sports side, so that's a lot of programming and interacting with our participants. So main question that I usually receive is just like, how do I get involved if I don't necessarily have a team? Like some of our bigger sports like soccer, it requires 8 people to create that team. So if you're maybe trying to try it out for the first time and maybe you don't have a group of 8 friends who want to play, we do offer a few different ways to like get involved still. So we do free agency, which basically allows you to be picked up by a team. So you just put in a bio. You can embellish a little bit, like you can say I'm 6'8", played D1, or got offered some D1, but wanted to play intramurals instead, whatever you want to write. And other teams can pick you up. And actually last year, me and a few coworkers, we made a softball team and we picked up all the free agents that didn't have a team. So that was just a great experience to meet new people. And they, you know, I still text some of them till this day. So I feel like there's a bunch of different ways to get involved, and it might be scary at first to kind of go out there and not know exactly who you'll meet, but everyone is there for a good time, you know, to play the sport. And yeah, so I feel like the hardest part is usually just signing up and making that first step, but we have plenty of ways to kind of help you.
Yeah, a lot of the questions I get in sessions and with participants specifically are like, how to set up equipment and like what does this do. I teach cycle, but I also teach deep water and pure strength and kettlebell as well. So a lot of questions are specific to those formats. A lot of the questions I do get is like, oh, like, is there anyone who like comes regularly, and like people are looking to make friends if they come by themselves. And I tend to like have small groups of people who come consistently, and then I see someone who really does like the class, but they're a little bit shy to get in and just come every week by themselves. So I kind of like, I wouldn't say force friendship, but I encourage it heavily. And then they all come, and then they all choose a row of bikes, or they all in deep water. There's so much room, but they all swim in a little pod. So it is a lot of like, how do I get more involved? A question I get a lot is like, how do I do what you're doing? And it's become a group exercise leader. Because it is something that I think a lot of people have like an underlying, like, I want to be on a stage, like hope kind of thing, but they like never fully like know how to get there. And I know I was in the same boat before I got my cycle certification outside of here. And I wish I had taken advantage of the in-house trainings my freshman year and gotten here earlier. Because they give you opportunities to get certifications outside of here. So when I'm doing my big girl stuff and my big girl job, I can also continue to teach fitness as a passion. And I say this in sessions all the time. It's like, I truly love my job. I love showing up to work. It's very much fun to get to hang out with people and answer these types of questions.
Yeah. One thing I'll interject here is we've mentioned getting on the job training quite a bit. So I know for intramural sports and group exercise, we provide on the job training. So for group exercise, Jess has mentioned the leader training course a couple times. We offer a 6-week course if somebody's interested in leading group exercise but doesn't have a certification. To come find me. Kyle has my email, so we can get in touch. But there's also, if we have students that are interested in being officials, you can get hired and get trained up on the rules, the skills, the motions, all of that stuff before your first games. And they do a really great job mentoring the newer officials so that they can get better and kind of provide that evaluation and build that skill. One of the things that I hear back from our students a lot, or our staff a lot, is that from the evaluations and from the opportunity to get outside of their comfort zone, they've learned a lot of public speaking skills. They've learned how to kind of get out of their comfort zone and be a part of, and get a little bit more leadership experience, even if it's not in the way that they expected. Because when you're running in a game and kind of being the official, that's helping everybody play fairly and well, but also being the head supervisor on the field to watch all the games going well. You're using those leadership skills. You're developing that ability to manage a space, manage a room that doesn't always come from academics. So it's really the one thing I love. I'm also a little biased. When I got to campus in 2012, I also got to be in their shoes and got to be a student. And here I am running one of the programs. So you get to get that different outside of the classroom experience that you don't always get from just your academic program or just clubs on campus. So there's a little bit more to working and participating at recreational sports than meets the eye. I have another question for y'all. What are some of the biggest misconceptions you hear about recreational sports or just in general on campus?
It's a good one. I think the biggest misconception is that like you have to pay out of pocket for everything. Because like a lot of people that I run into, they're like, oh, like I just get, a local gym membership somewhere else because I don't want to pay. I'm like, well, theoretically, you've already paid that fee, so you might as well take advantage of everything that you get inside of that $80 a semester. Because really, I don't know the math, but if you ask me, the $80 for everything you get is definitely a deal. And like with our renovated gym, I tell people all the time, I'm like, just come to the SRC. There's plenty of stuff here that you definitely wouldn't get anywhere else. Like nowhere else has an Olympic size, pool, full strength gym, group X, all of that. So I think just people think they need to pay for everything when that's not the case.
Yeah.
I would say a lot of misconceptions is that we don't have what they want. Which listing everything we have already, like it's very clear we have everything that I could personally think of. Like there's dance fitness. There's dance fitness to water aerobics, and you can train by yourself, or you can play sports with a group. There's everything. The other misconception is that I think it's a little scary sometimes walking in by yourself, and that people think they have to go make a workout and do it by themselves, which just completely isn't the case. We've got all the Rec Connects and ways to work out in groups. And even if you don't know what you're doing and you walk into the strength gym and you just enter onto a machine and you're like looking at it like, I don't know, there's enough people in there that someone will walk up to you and say, hey, do you need help? And that's a great way to just make a quick friend. So there are things for everyone, and there is help, and it's not scary.
Yeah. I will say, if you're needing a little bit of the downside and to kind of get away from activity a little bit, because we could be feeling a lot of stress or you could feel exhausted. I completely forgot this earlier. We opened a wellness studio.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
I'm like, don't tell everyone about it yet.
Okay, on the down low, we have a wellness studio, but it actually has a relaxed space that has guided meditation with visuals. It has like a heated seat and aromatherapy. It's a really cool thing. It's about 15 minutes of your day, and you're just afterwards. We have a hydro massager as well as cryotherapy. So we have a chair that will actually have 6 zones of the body, and you can set up to 4 as one temperature and the other 2 as the opposite temperature, and kind of get some of that experience that you get from heating and icing. We've gotten lots of requests for saunas and things like that. And while we don't have those facilities, we do have this cryo chair that if we find that participants are having a really enjoyable experience with it, we're looking to order more. So we have one of each of those machines right now, and we're looking for feedback from our students to kind of see what we need to maybe increase of or what we need to get rid of and replace with. You heard it here first. They were really excited about it. We're really excited to offer this space. It's in this beautiful room that has these floor to ceiling windows, and you can kind of see the sun and kind of just things moving around. It's a really relaxing space, and there's no extra cost for it. All you have to do is scan your ID and you're ready to go. I have one more question for Jaden and Jess, and then we'll open the floor. If you had 2 pieces of advice for new students or students wanting to try recreational sports or even work with us, what would that be?
My biggest first piece of advice would be to don't be afraid to branch out and try new things, because now is kind of that time to really branch out and see kind of life as it is to the fullest. Because at least for me, I know when I was coming out of high school, I had, this is what I'm supposed to do and this is what everyone else is supposed to do. But coming to college, you kind of broaden your horizon and get to really get a feel for the actual world and how people are so much different, but yet you guys can all connect over things. And then my second piece of advice would be, don't bring your car to campus the first year. Just walk, get your steps in, and you'll get a better sense of campus and get to know people that way as well too.
I'd say something similar. Don't be afraid to try something you thought you might not like. I didn't know I would love deep water exercise before I walked in there and took it, but it made me feel silly and it made me laugh. I've never danced a day in my life, and I went to cardio hip hop, and I continue to go to cardio hip hop as a form of self-care because it just brings out so much serotonin. A lot of the people aren't coordinated either, so it brings out a lot of laughs too. So I would say, don't be afraid to try something you think you might hate, because you may end up loving it. The second thing, I would agree on the car. The second thing I would say is, don't be afraid to ask a lot of questions. There's so many people, so many students in this building who not only had the same question, but are now informed, and like, we all work here and we know sometimes things can get confusing. So like, we love talking. Like, I talked to a participant for 45 minutes yesterday, just randomly about everything, but like about what we have new and all the wellness room. I did spoil it a little bit, but she was really cool. So I was like, yeah, use it. It needs to stay. But yeah, ask a lot of questions. We're here to help, and we were in the same boat. So yeah.
Cool. Kyle, do we have any more questions in the chat?
I don't see any now, so folks, last chance. Make sure you drop your questions in. We'll give it a couple seconds maybe.
Kyle, do you have any questions?
What is for our students, I guess, and you too, Katie, but what is your favorite part of the renovation? I know I have my favorite, but I'm curious here, like what do you all think is the best part about the latest renovations over there at RecSports?
I think for me personally, it's either the new gym or the basketball courts because like the once that gets finished, I think it'll be super cool in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
My answer is going to change in 3 weeks because
Okay.
we're on the cycle studio getting finished up.
Yep.
So the cycle studio, I've made jokes how I should just like set up a tent and live there. So that's my favorite studio in the whole place. But my favorite updated renovation, I'd have to say, also the strength gym. There's a lot. It feels like it works a lot smoother, and yeah, a few years ago I would never have stepped foot in there. It was scary, but now it's not so scary, and I work here, so I feel a little bit more safe to do so. But yeah, that I absolutely love the new strength gym.
It's such a hard choice for me because I'm really excited about some of the new like branding and stuff that we have come out because it's gonna make it just so cool. But I think I'm really most excited for the outdoor courts. I'm really excited. I want to be there opening day because I want to see what that fitness court is all about.
I'll
And
be
I'm
there with
like,
you.
what sessions can I plan out there? So look out for programming. But also the wellness studio. I think that it's just such a cool opportunity to have a space that has those windows and kind of gives you a chance to kind of wind down. That's some of the things that I think we forget about often is like as much as we are on a go, we do need to move our bodies for good and all that, but we also need that rest time. So like as much as I love a good restorative session, I don't always have 60 minutes to do yoga and kind of take my mobile nap, but I do have 15 minutes to get a hydro massage. I do have 15 minutes or 10 minutes to kind of sit in that heated chair and just chill out a little bit. So those are two pretty cool spaces.
Yeah. No, now that I know about the wellness room, I will be over there. So if you see me just in the, hydro chair, then just
I
ignore
saw nothing.
me. Right, right. Well, I don't have any other questions, so I think this is a good time to wrap it up. For our parents and families that are on the call, I'll do a shameless plug for our next webinar. That one's in the evening on September 18th. So that's on a Wednesday. It's from 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern time. So feel free to join us there. You can find information about that on the Office of Student Life website. Just if you type in IU Dean of Students, Parent and Family Engagement, it'll come right up. So yeah, I will send out a follow-up. We'll make sure we share these resources with you all, to those that attended and those that registered. So we appreciate you coming today. And if you have any questions, you can respond to our message that you'll get in the next couple of days. So appreciate everyone coming. And I'll wrap up the call now. So Katie and Jaden and Jess, thanks for all your work too. So we appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you all.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye.